Here we go, day 4 of week 3, and we're going to focus this, boys and girls, on character traits. So the attachment that you have is going to give you a big list of character traits. Now, there's no attachment that you need to send in. There's nothing that you're going to have to hand in for me. But the attachment's there if you want to just follow along and look at this. But I do want on that hard copy that you have to write things down, because we're going to use this in class. We're going to rip off that page from this packet and we're going to put it in our ELA notebook. So the page, I have mine right on my phone. I'm going to be reading right off my phone. Looks like this. Character traits up top. And we're going to talk about a lot of these character traits and what they mean. So now you know that we're not going to just use the word mean and kind and nice and happy. So now we have a big list of words to choose from when we describe characters. And remember, characters we describe by the way they think, the way they feel, the way they act, and by the things that they say in a story. Okay? So with your paper, take a pencil, ready to go. Just write down a couple of these meanings for these. Now, some of these you're not going to have to write too much meaning on, and some of them we're going to, kind of skip and go through really fast. So we're going to focus on the ones that are a little harder. All right? So we're going to start at the very top left, and the first word is humble. If someone is humble, write down, they don't brag. Don't brag. So if someone is humble, it means they think of others. It means they have others' thoughts and feelings where they should be. If you remember, we did a story or a song. I don't think both groups have done this, but one of the songs we play is Always Stay Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw. And that means always think of yourself. You can be prideful. It's okay to be prideful, but always be humble, meaning feel where you came from. Don't boast and brag like you're the best thing ever. Not a good character trait to have. So if you remember, we also talked about the word vain. Vain, and we also talked about the word prideful. So vain and prideful are the complete opposite of someone who is humble. So I'm going to pretend to do a quick interview here. So let's pretend I'm a Bills player. Question. Yes, Mr. Van Damme, your play on the field today was just superb. Why do you think you did so great? Man, I did so great because I'm the best there ever is and best there ever will be. And probably, I don't know, they could just put a statue of me outside. I was just amazing on that football field. Did you see me throwing that ball and everybody catching it? Pfft, I can make anybody the best player ever. That's me being very vain, prideful. Heroes be a humble interview. So, Mr. Van Damme, how was that game today? You played very well. Oh, yeah, well, I was put in a good position, and my teammates were really there for me. I mean, my blockers blocked for me. The guys that went out for passes, they caught the ball. My coach put me in the great position, so I'm very lucky and thrilled to be a part of this team. So, humble. So, if you're very vain, you think you're just the best thing ever, like that first interview. And that second part would be very humble. You kind of just... everybody, a collective unit. And that's what we want out of people. We want you to be humble. Next word, brave. If you are brave, write this down. You take risks. If you are brave, you take risks. And you also have to have a good character trait to be brave. You have to be brave and face up to your fears. With a lot of things going on in the world, you're going to have to sometimes stick up for yourself or stick up for someone else. And we want that in someone. So I guess taking risk isn't the best definition. You could put taking risk, but also having yourself stand out. Okay, so being brave, that's what we want. You're taking risk, but you're also standing out, someone that's brave. Now, obviously, we think of our superheroes being brave, but we can also think of a kid for the first time having to go through something that, most kids don't. They're super brave because they have to, keep going and just keep their wrist. There's so many things going on that they just keep going and pushing and pushing and pushing, and they are very brave. Next word also goes with brave, courageous. Serious, funny, humorous, sad. Okay, we're going to skip now to the next one, resourceful. Resource, everyone say the word resource. So your resource are the things that are around you. So if you use your resources, you are called a very resourceful person. It's a very good character trait to have about yourself. Meaning, so write this down here for resourceful. You use things around you. You're very resourceful. Someone who's a very good problem solver, we would say that they are very resourceful, meaning they kind of use everything they can to be able to solve a problem. Resourceful. Next word, stubborn. Hopefully you're not called this either in the classroom or at home. Stubborn. You ever heard the saying, stubborn as a mule, meaning you don't move in any direction whatsoever. And by moving, I don't mean physically moving, but I mean emotionally, mentally. You don't give to anyone. Stubborn. So if you're trying to agree on something with someone, and no, I'm not gonna, no, I'm done. That's very stubborn. Stubborn. Not giving in to someone else. So yes, sometimes it is okay to be stubborn, but normally a character that is stubborn is someone who is, a character trait that we don't want to have. Next word, loyal. Write down, sticks with you. I am a loyal Buffalo Bills fan. When I was little, they were in 4 Super Bowls consecutive, and they lost all 4. I remember the first one I cried, but I didn't give up. I stuck with my team, and then the next year they lost, and the next year they lost, and the next year they lost. So they lost 4 straight Super Bowls. And then for so many years, we went through so many. We didn't make the playoffs for like 15. I can't remember. We just broke the streak a couple years ago, but I never gave up. It was hard. It was very hard. We had some really bad teams and some bad seasons and some very bad quarterbacks. But hopefully my team, I've stuck with them, and we're doing good. We're doing much better than we have in the last 15 years. But 30 years ago, we were really good, but I have stuck with my team loyal. That doesn't mean you stick with a team, but it also means you stick with your friends. Your family. You're loyal to your family, meaning family comes first. Family, you have decisions that you make, mom and dad, and usually they think of you and they make decisions based off of you. Loyal. All right, next word. All right, I want you to look up at your ceiling. If you're outside, look down at the floor. All right, look very carefully up in your ceiling or very carefully on your floor, and look for the word gullible. Keep looking. Keep looking. Oh, it's there. I'm sure it is. You see it? No? Good, because you just fell for my trick. Gullible means you believe anything. Gullible. So write that down. Believes anything. Gullible. So, obviously not a great character trait if you're a very gullible character. We're not going through all these boys and girls, but we're going to go through a big chunk of them. So we'll go on the left-hand side. We'll skip a bunch here. Caring. Carefree. Write down lots of joy. Carefree. No worries about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. It's a very carefree song. Bob Marley, by the way. Carefree. Not a worry in the world. Hakuna Matata, right? Means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. If you are carefree, there's no worries. I hope you're singing along with me. Next word, selfish. So if someone is selfish, we can also throw this one kind of in this category of vain. Selfish means they only do things for themselves. So let's say you found $1,000 and you don't tell anyone about it, and you go out and you buy thousands of dollars of things. That's very selfish of you, because number one, that money's not yours. You did do the right thing. Should have returned it to its proper owner. Selfish, meaning you do things that are just to benefit yourself. Selfish. And then you have the complete opposite next word, unselfish. So unselfish, you could say, could go with also humble, where you think of others. A selfish action at home would be sitting at home, doing the video games and doing nothing, not cleaning your room. How about unselfish? Asking mom what you could do to help around the house. Maybe don't even ask mom what you could do around the house, but go take out the garbage, take out some recycling. Maybe clean up around the house without being asked. See where I'm going here? Well, maybe parents are listening to this and they're liking these videos here. So if you're unselfish, you think of other people's needs. Selfish, you think of yourself. Generous. Generous means you are very giving, very generous. If you received a generous gift from someone, it means it was almost too much. Like, oh, that was too much. You didn't need to do that for me. That was just so generous of you. Oh, thank you so much. So there you go. If you do an unselfish activity by going to help with something around the house, you will make a generous help to your home. There you go. Next word. We're almost done, guys. We're just going to do this left-hand side here. Self-confident. So self-confident, don't throw it in the word with vain yet, because self-confidence is a good thing. Self-confidence doesn't mean you're bragging. It just means you believe in yourself. I believe in myself. Like, I can do this thing. I can do it. No, I'm good. But you're not bragging. Don't think self-confident is bragging. So self-confident, you believe in yourself. Next word, respectful. I think we know what that word means, right? Your elders, your teachers, your classmates, not talking over people, manners, that's having your respect. Next one, considerate. To consider someone means to think about someone else. So if you're a considerate person, it means you think of others. Think of others' needs. You're very considerate. Thinking of others. Make sure you're writing these down. If you haven't been writing them down, you're going to have to re-listen to write them down. Next word, imaginative. And I hope you have this, because if you have this, you have the number one thing that all good writers have, and that's ideas. Don't give up on those silly ideas. Like, remember J.K. Rowling? I told you she was homeless and living basically on a train after having that divorce, but she had an idea. It's $1 billion idea now, but she had an idea about a boy who had magical powers and went to go live with his aunt and uncle because his parents were killed by a powerful wizard named Lord Voldemort, he shall not be named, and he finds out by the time he's 10 that he is accepted to the school of Hogwarts of witchcraft and wizardry. So imaginative, the amazing ideas that have come out of J.K. Rowling, that's what someone is imagining. You can create things in your brain. You can see stories unfold. That's a very good character trait we want our characters to have. Very similar to imaginative is inventive. So a little different. J.K. Rowling is imaginative, whereas you have an idea and then you go off and you invent something. So if you are an inventor, you are very inventive. You have a very neat, top-of-the-line idea. The word innovative also comes to mind. So you create things if you're inventive. That's what we want to write down. And it also goes with the next word. Ready? Creative. I think we know what creative means. And the last word, we're going to end, and we'll do these other 3 lists in upcoming weeks, and probably we'll do one in class too, is independent. If you are independent, you don't need others to help you. Okay? Now that could be 2 things. One, you're very independent. You're very good at, you can follow the rules. I'll be honest, ready? Girls, they usually get the independence a little better because they're a little more mature. Boys, not saying you're all immature, but boys, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get that independency. Usually when you get a little older in your teenage years, when you become independent, meaning you're not on means you're kind of on your own. I know you're 10 years old, but you're about 10 years away from possibly becoming independent of your parents. And usually girls, you're ready for that a lot sooner than the boys. But also in the classroom, if you're an independent reader, that means you don't need the assistance of others. Independent, you can do things by yourself. Okay? So there we go, boys and girls. There's a great list of things. Again, nothing to submit, but if you wanted to look on that paper that you had that I sent home and write those things off, and we will continue on another day on a bunch of other character traits. Thank you.